Hasil Crash is a game developed and released by the Behemoth in 2008 and beautifully remastered in 2015. In this game, you play as one of 4 knights going on the traditional hero's journey. Welcome to Renegade Reviews. Our story begins with an evil wizard that steals a king's magical gem and then flies off into the distance. Your job as one of the 4 royal knights is to recover this gem and restore peace and harmony to his kingdom. But you must also save his 4 daughters from the villainous horde that wants to rule the world. How do you do this, you might be asking? Well, there's a lot of ways, but mainly it's going to involve crashing some castles. See what I did there? You're going to be beating up barbarians and enemies with your sword, pulling off combos, and doing all sorts of tricks to save the day and the kingdom. Now let's move on to the gameplay. If you can't tell based on what you're looking at, this is a 2D side-scrolling beat-em-up where the name of the game is to kill all the enemies on the screen in order to progress to the next section of the level or to progress to the next stage. This will take you all across the map with tons of different levels to explore and many different enemy types to face off against and do battle with. You will be sometimes joined by other partners, little knights joining your team, or your animal orb, which can grant you special abilities in battle. Once you get really good at this game, you can get really tricky with some of the combos you pull off. As you can see, I really like pulling off the aerial combo where you do a heavy attack and then just do a light attack in the air on a bunch of enemies to clear out a massive chunk of the area at once. And this comes with experience, because you'll be able to juggle enemies like it is nothing by the time you reach the middle point of the game. But don't get too cocky, because there are other enemy types out there. There are these little guys, of course, but there are these big beefy fellows, and they take a lot of damage and can give a lot of damage as well, so it's best to use magic on them. Now you see my blue knight, he has ice magic. Ice magic is the staple of the blue knight, but every other knight has their own forms of magic that they can use. Orange has fire, red has lightning, green has poison. So pick your favorite, and make sure you continue on your quest to save the princesses and stop the evil wizard. With a little bit of training, some luck, and lots of skill, you can go very far. Alright, before we end this review, we need to talk about the bosses. And I'm not talking about this little guy right here. I'm talking about this big beefy fellow that breaks down the door and gets in your face showing you what a real boss is like. When I was a kid, this was so amazing to experience. I remember getting my hands on the demo of this game thinking, oh, hey, we can beat this little barbarian dude pretty easily. We fought a bigger tank before. But no, when you see this giant monstrosity hulking towards you, you know that you are in for a fun boss fight. And the bosses only get better from here. Each one has their own tricks and maneuvers that the player is going to have to deal with. Some can be beaten very easily. Others may take some practice. I'd be lying if I said there weren't a few bosses in this game that still didn't give me trouble to this day. Despite that, I love each and every boss in this game. They are some of the best features of Hasil Crash's gameplay. So the verdict. If you have not gone out and already purchased Hasil Crashers, you should, because the gameplay is phenomenal. It is the perfect example of having a simple game, but perfecting everything to the highest level. The gameplay is fun and addictive. It is simple enough for anyone to master, with a light attack, heavy attack, and some magic. But once you master it, you can do crazy combos and really have lots of fun. I recommend this game to any and everyone. Until next time, see you in the studio.